reports had KP captured in Thailand and Singapore, as well as Malaysia.
Good morning, Minister.
Good morning. Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. Amos Roberts, Australian Television.
Hi, welcome.
I wanted clarification from Malaysia's Home Affairs Minister, Hishamuddin Hussein. But no country wants to admit to handing the feared rebel leader over to his enemies, least of all Malaysia, home to around 2 million Tamils.
Can you confirm reports that the former Tamil Tiger leader KP was captured here in Malaysia?
I'm not aware of that, and I cannot confirm it.
So
nor can I deny it.
not confirm or deny.
Yeah.
So the fact that there are sources close to both the Tigers and the Sri Lankan government who say that he was captured here with the cooperation of the Malaysian authorities.
Those are the sources that are given to you. If they come up to me and tell me what their source of their source is, then we will do the necessary investigation, and I will revert to you on that. But right now I don't have any information on that.
Human rights groups say if KP was arrested in Malaysia, he should have been extradited, not kidnapped, especially since he faces a risk of torture back in Sri Lanka.
Sending somebody back under those circumstances is also unlawful and violates international law. If there are charges to be brought, if there are people who should be pursued, then the Sri Lankan government should make sure that it goes through proper legal channels for that.
There was no other way for the Sri Lankan government to do this. I don't think any human rights organization, if it is a human rights organization, should criticize this, because KP was the biggest human rights violator.
Can you see the Sri Lankan government mounting similar operations against other enemies in the diaspora?
Yes, I can share with you that the Sri Lankan government is already planning to bring a number of other people home.
Tamils around the world are now worried about the long arm of the Sri Lankan government. Although the Tamil Tigers are banned in Australia, community leaders like these, meeting in Sydney, have been accused of supporting the rebels. According to media reports in Sri Lanka, the government has a blacklist of 100 Tamils living overseas it wants to prosecute.
I don't know whether I'm on the list, but I don't want to sound too important, but that's a real concern for a lot of the community members.
We don't know. I mean, how do we know that's not going to happen even in Australia? So we are worried.
Next AGM, next Skype conference,
Dr. Victor Rajakulendram knows he's on one of the lists that's been circulating. Now he wants to find out which countries helped Sri Lanka to capture KP.
So who are these friendly countries? That is the Tamil diaspora's question now is. We need to identify the friendly countries so that we can be careful to avoid those friendly countries to go into first. For example, Malaysia. I will never step into Malaysia now. So earlier I decided I will not step into Sri Lanka or, for that matter, to India. Now I have to add Malaysia to that.
Dr. Rajakulendran says Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs is taking the threat seriously.
They have also advised us whenever we are travelling outside Australia, we should let the authorities know here so that they can keep an eye on us.
They told you to let them know when you travel outside Australia?
Yes, and we are doing that, and they are time to time they are contacting us and asking whether there is any threat to us.
Sri Lanka's High Commissioner in Australia, Seneca Walgampaya, offers no reassurance.
If the Sri Lankan government was involved in investigating Tamils here in Australia, would you be aware of it, sir?
No, I'm not informed. These are all been done in Colombo, and I've not been kept informed of that.
So it's possible that people like Dr. Rajakulendran are being investigated, but you wouldn't know about it if that was the case?
Well, I don't know. I have no information whatsoever on that.
Professor Gunaratna believes some Tamils in Australia should be investigated.
There are a number of professionals who are living in Australia, and they have supported a terrorist group by providing them funds, by distributing their propaganda, by advocating violence, and by supporting a group that conducted violence, and I believe that they should be prosecuted.
They have to first prove to the Australian government if there are any people in Australia, Tamil people, who have done that. The Australian government only will have to take action about that.
2.5 months have now passed since KP was captured, and the Sri Lankan authorities are still questioning him. He's being held under anti-terrorism laws and hasn't yet been charged or appeared in court.
What we have is an unlawful process that takes somebody who's suspected of doing criminal action or human rights violations basically outside the law. And that makes it vigilantism, that makes it vengeance, but it doesn't make it justice.
Every terrorist has his day, including Osama bin Laden, including Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, including Prabhakaran. The terrorists can run, but they can't hide. Eventually, they will be brought to justice. This is the story of Kumaran Pathmanathan.
Amos Roberts investigating, filming and reporting there, including those nervous Tamils here in Australia. Coming up, Barack Obama has won the Nobel Peace Prize, but the committee who selected him are still fending off worldwide criticism of their decision.